Welcome to SysQue in the Connect2Fab video series. In this video, we'll get our model ready to publish to Connect2Fab. Last video, we looked at getting SysQue ready to publish to Connect2Fab. This video, we'll look at getting our model ready, and our next video, we're going to actually publish to Connect2Fab. So there's a few things to keep in mind at getting your model ready to publish to Connect2Fab. You'll want to navigate to your desired 3D view. So the system you'd like to publish, for instance, piping, you want to go to a piping 3D view. And you can save that as your 3D piping publishing view. You can do the same thing for electrical, but you want to isolate the system that you're interested in publishing to Connect2Fab because that's what you're going to see on the other end when you get that model to Connect2Fab. There's a few other things we want to take into account. We want our models to be about 400 megabytes or smaller. We've seen larger models published no problem, but sometimes we've seen issues around 400 megabytes. So you might want to break your model up into chunks if it is larger than that. We're going to want to turn off our center lines on our MEP runs and visibility graphics, and that would be for conduit fittings, flex pipes, and pipe fittings. So in the example here, we see in visibility graphics that we turned off the center line for conduits, which is going to speed up the processing of the model on the upload, as well as not getting us data that we don't need in a Connect2Fab for using Connect2Fab. We're going to then go to SysQue Tools ribbon to run our Connect2Fab data updater. We're going to save our model, and then we're going to publish that model to Connect2Fab using the Trimble Connect4Fab file uploader plugin that we looked at in a previous video. This is the recommended workflow. If you'd like to use the Revit IFC export, please see the Connect2Fab user guide for more information on this. Alrighty, we're logged into SysQue in Revit 2022. We're looking at our 3D electrical view. We've isolated just the electrical elements in here, and I've renamed this view to my 3D Connect2Fab publish for electrical. That way, anytime I want to publish to Connect2Fab, I just bring this view up, and the choices that we make will be preserved, and the process is easy to repeat. As we talked about in visibility graphics, we want to have conduits and conduit fittings to turn the center line off for those, and it is in this view. And the next time I come in this view, they'll still be off, so it'll be easy to repeat the process. Here in my piping and plumbing view, if we go into visibility graphics, we have the same turned off for pipe and for pipe fittings. So if we go down here, pipe fittings, center lines off, pipe center lines off, and the same thing if we had flex pipe, we turn the center lines off for those. In this model, we've created spools for pipe, conduit, and some cable tray. We could create the spools here in SysQue with the prefab manager, which this data will be sent to Connect2Fab, or we could choose to do our spooling in Connect2Fab. At this point, we'll save our model. I'll go to the SysQue Tools ribbon, and we have our Connect2Fab data updater, which I will go ahead and run. This could take a few minutes depending on the size and complexity of your model. After we run the data updater, we'll go ahead and save our model, and then we're going to be ready to publish our model to Connect2Fab.